All right, I think I'm getting the hang of this. I am live. Okay, let me fix my lighting here so we can see a little bit better. And give me a moment. This light, there we go. The kitty boy is leaving us. All right, we are gonna set up on the mat, sitting comfortably. So grab a prop or two, whatever you like to sit on. And make sure that you can tilt the pelvis a little bit forward so that your spine is upright with comfort and ease. Give yourself time to twist, sway, circle your shoulders around a bit as you explore a deeper breath. Where's your body gripping tight, uncomfortable? So that you can take the breath right to that area and soften it. Generally speaking, most of our tension is a construct of our mind, gripping in our joints, deep in the belly, deep in the hips. So feel that you can meet that with intention to soften and release. So as we come into Thanksgiving week, my classes will be themed on gratitude. And before you roll your eyes and say, oh, here we go again, I might give you a new spin to it and help you connect to something that is powerful, as the energy of gratitude has a multitude of benefits, some being decreased symptoms of PTSD, increased happiness and joy, better sleep, more happiness. Let's see, let me refer to my notes here. It helps foster hope for the future. And if you were with me last week, we talked about the lunar eclipse and the low frequencies of some of those signs. Taurus and Sagittarius, more specifically, we can really lose faith in all of our efforts and what's it all for. So finding gratitude brings you back into this hope that we are creating something powerful together. It creates compassion and therefore less toxicity in our life. It strengthens our relationships. It sets off a cycle of kindness. It reconnects to your own supply of resources, right? When we think about what we have, we fill ourselves up. We notice how full we already are. And it strengthens our immune system and can reinforce our self-care, which is so important. So oftentimes we'll just kind of rip through ideas of what we're grateful for, but when we look at really the science-based benefits of it, it's healing. It's that powerful. And to take it further into why, right? Why am I grateful for these things, really brings the power in. So maybe you already have a gratitude journal or start your day with just thinking of things that you're grateful for. Start to add in the why. Right? That's really where the healing work is done, when we contemplate the whys. And oftentimes, when we look at the ways in which life brings us struggle and challenges, and we ask why, that's we can keep ourselves in the victim role. So sometimes when we look at the why of the gratitude, it will then combat it, right? Because oftentimes there's no answer to the why did this happen to me, right? We can look at it happened for me with the gratitude piece coming in. Because when we look at the silver lining, it's raising our vibration. Yet, if we are always at that polar end of finding the silver lining, being positive about every situation, only looking at the happy place that we can find, we're in danger of bypassing the real truth and the grit and the dark aspect, which is not going to serve anybody well. So oftentimes we have to pay attention to that. I'm sure we all can relate to feeling that way on some level, or know somebody in our life that is that way. And there's this huge burst of like health coaching, right? That industry has blown up over the last decade, and it has real value, but often that can be a danger of not understanding the process of moving through dark emotion, which is necessary, because gratitude will bring us to the light. So we can look to find gratitude in the pain. So my example to share with you today is that I am actually extremely grateful that I lost my dog over the summer. I mean, it sucks. I cry about it still many months later, but in her death, I found a new way of looking at moving through my days with getting the most out of the life. What can I, accomplish in my day with Josie in mind? Because that dog just wanted to be out, be in the full vibrancy of activity and nature and the pure joy that she had in a 10-minute walk around the neighborhood, or a 20-minute hike through the woods, or an hour at the beach, helped me find a more positive attitude with the glass half full as opposed to half empty, which I've lived in my life in that place a lot. So in that pain, right, I found some real benefit. So start to contemplate that for yourself, right? Feel like you're grounded in your seat, heavy in your hips and legs, light through the spine, deep in the breath, and pulling in these ideas of gratitude with the why am I gratitude for this? Why do I have gratitude for this? Why am I gracious? But also notice if you're resisting, right? Because sometimes it's really important to be in the dark. So if you're resisting the piece of gratitude, honor that and just have gratitude for that. Grief is a really challenging part of life because it's a void to where the love goes, right? That grief of whatever we lose, we still want to give to it, but it's no longer with us. So it's really, really hard. So maybe you can bring it into yourself in the dark space and just feed that self-nurturing care of, we need the dark to be able to have the light. So don't force it. I think I made all of the points I wanted to make. So bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. As we move through the practice today, it's going to be a dynamic practice so that we can stir up what we attach to, right? So that we're not gripping and holding, and then we can help move through it and have the understanding again of the process of dark and light and needing them both, so that we can find the why we have gratitude for the certain things. And so as you start to find maybe just one or two examples of that, I'll give you another one of my own. So I think it was in 2018 that I cut off all my hair. And every day I have gratitude for having this short haircut because of many reasons. The first one is that it's low maintenance. Even though I have to get my hair cut more often, it's a short, inexpensive process. And in that, I love to connect with the person that cuts my hair more frequently. And it's easy when I get up in the morning. I love a low maintenance process because everything is fast moving and busy. So that's easy. I love that when I'm in my car with all my windows down, there's nothing flying in my face, getting stuck in my mouth or in my vision. Or in sleeping, I used to have really long hair. It was stuck around my neck and it was hot. I just couldn't stand it. So also the low maintenance aspect, there's a part of it that I enjoy, that my haircut alone shows the world that I'm a little bit of a nonconformist. And I like that. And I have gratitude for that. So it doesn't have to be something emotionally profound to find gratitude for. It can be something that brings you joy in your day over and over and over again, like your haircut or your smile, right? And it's the why. Connect to the why. So, and again, if you're having a hard time finding it, just be with that as well, because it's real. Right? You can have gratitude for not being able to find something right now, because that's real. Close down the eyes if that's comfortable. Take a few moments to come into these ideas for yourself. You want to set an intention around that. And then let it exhale, release it. Your hands, open the eyes. We're going to come right into downward dog. So give yourself the time. I'm going to take my socks off to plant the hands, step the feet back. You can play with the distance of your hands and feet. And then, straightening of the legs, pedaling it out. Move your dog around. You can slide a little bit forward and back. Twist the hips. Letting your movements help heavy the head from the strength of your shoulder girdle, from the strength of your upper back, and the action in the chest and shoulders, so that you're not collapsing. Lifting the armpits, hugging through the belly, the lower ribs, sending the sit bones to the sky and the heels to the floor. If you haven't already settled into stillness, go ahead and take 5 slow breaths. Might feel nice for you to close your eyes again. Just be with our thoughts on gratitude. Thankful for the process of this challenging human existence. Take one more breath. Inhale, walk to the top of the mat. Take your time. I'm going to try and keep my arms and legs straight as long as I can, using my lower belly, my shoulders. Maybe blocks are needed to be able to press into your fingertips and stretch the legs straight. Give yourself a moment to stretch through the lower back and the hamstrings, the whole back body. And then often, I say in lots of classes, why we do some physical things on the mat with reflection. So as you stretch your legs straight and tone them, feel strong in your foundation, to then heavy the torso, and maybe some things can roll off your back, off the back of the neck, through the crown. What can you let go of to get over yourself, right? We often attach to certain things, and that limits our potential. So from a strong foundation, what can you let go of here? then bring your hands to your shins. Inhale to a flat back and pause. Keep the weight forward. Keep the belly toned and the shoulder blades down the back. 2 more breaths. Chin can pull in, crown stretching out of the tail. Inhale, arms out to T. Pause. Opening up your wings. Getting ready to fly and soar with an open heart. Right? A benefit of gratitude is that it raises our vibration and brings us to love and compassion. Inhale, arms stretch overhead. Grab your left wrist, lift up, lean to the right, pull your throat back, pull your belly and ribs in. Find that nice side stretch. Inhale, come up to center. Switch sides, grab the right wrist, hug the belly, thighs back, ribs in, stretch to the left. Pull your throat back. Keeping the mind focused on the idea of gratitude for the process. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, sit down into a chair pose with arms parallel to the ground. Bring your weight to the heels, thighs pull back, ribs pull back, shoulder blades pull back, then down. Keep them down to raise the arms up. 2 more breaths. With your feet anchored, feel like your heels can try to pull away from each other. Notice the action there and the sensation in your rotators. Maybe you sit a little bit lower. Keeping the right knee bent. Let's take the hands to the hips, but don't collapse the shoulders, so keep them reaching back, and bring your left knee up. Right knee stays bent. Hug the belly. One more breath. Try to lower the left hip, but keep the knee up. And then step again, hip width. Send your weight left. Draw the right knee up. Left knee stays bent. Hug the belly back. Just getting the legs and the body nice and warm. Step wide through the right foot. Inhale, left knee comes up, right leg goes straight, but keep your right thigh back and your left hip down. Big breath. Bend the right knee, step the left foot hip width. Inhale the right knee up, stretching the left leg straight. Press your thigh back, big breath. And then step your right foot down. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, Tadasana. Take a moment. Another example of something that I'm grateful for, and my shirt is representing a reggae band that I love, Roots of Creation. I love reggae music because it's happy in its expression of, the musicality of it is very happily expressing the struggle of being the struggles of being human, right? So I love that it brings the dark and the light together, right? Good reggae music, especially like Bob Marley or this band, they will talk about their struggles and then how bringing their music to life creates community and celebrates their action in trying to create beauty out of the pain, to bring people together to fight for each other. So I'm grateful for reggae music. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, lean to the right. My hands are pressed together in prayer, but maybe yours are wider. Inhale, come up to center. And exhale, lean left. Moving with the breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, cactus your elbows and pull your shoulder blades down the back, ribs in and thighs back. Big breath in. And then exhale, push forward. Find cat spine, heavy the head. And then inhale, find cow as you open the heart again. Knees are soft here, belly's toned. Exhale, cow. Roll the chin to the chest. 3 more times. Inhale, open it up like cow. Exhale, cat. I think I said that wrong the first time. Right, open the front body, squeezing through the back body. Exhale, open the back body by squeezing into the front. One more time. And then inhale, stretch up. Exhale, chair pose, big breath. So we're going to take hands around to the lower belly and the heart. Shoulders back and down. Send your weight into the heels and stretch your legs straighter so you feel less quad action and more hamstring action. And then 10 times. Inhale, unhinge the hip. Exhale, hinge tighter. My spine's not moving, my hip flexors are moving, and my back is extending. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, open. Exhale. Nope. Inhale. And so we're just moving through a lower back strengthener. Hamstrings are getting a little bit warmer because they're doing the work, not the quads, right? You're not in a squat. Keep the energy of your thighs moving back and up. Let's do 3 more because I really wasn't counting. Last one. On the inhale, come up to stand, and then step to the side, not so wide, and bring the heels in for goddess. So when you squat down now, my feet are a little bit too close. I'm going to inch them somewhere where the knee is in reference to the ankle. Settle down low. Choose what you want to do with your arms. Be grateful for choices. There's always a choice. I'm going to sway a little bit. So last week's practice was really slow with long holds to really feel endurance. Today's going to be a little bit more fluid, a little bit more dynamic so that we can move through things and get the energy out. For me, holiday season is really not my friend. Not a huge fan. I love Thanksgiving for being with friends and family and loved ones and being grateful, but it is still a challenge because of many reasons. One of them is it's a Hallmark holiday that, the Americans kind of disconnected from its root and gives the general population a false pretense of what we're actually celebrating. Not really a fan of that. And sometimes with family, our loved ones are the ones that trigger us the most because, there's trauma there for most people. Can't escape that. So challenging. So we want to be able to move, right? When all of those things, they create more stress, right? Even if things are not traumatic, there's still a lot more to do, right? And it's stressful. So we move. Right? Okay, legs are nice and warm. Any arms, we're going to try to do like a 90-90 for hip rotation. So twist to your toes and face the front of the mat and drop the back knee and then come back up. We'll go to the other side. Right, so my feet are a little bit too far. So I want to scoop the tail when I lower the back knee. So just side to side. Maybe your arms can start to go front to back. Don't worry really about the feet so much. We're just pivoting side to side, twisting through the rotation of the hips, and using our quads now. Scooping the tail. Stay with it a few more rounds. Ooh, my legs are tired already. Okay, one more to the back of the mat. When we turn to face the front of the mat, step into the front foot, draw the knee up. Lower the left hip, press your right thigh back, grab your left ankle, stretch the quads, swoop the tail, hug the lower belly, roll the shoulders back and down. Woo-wee. Catch your breath. I updated my computer yesterday and now everything is messed up. I usually have it on too, not to disturb all the time. Okay, step wide, pivot, step into your left foot, draw the right knee up, left thigh goes back, grab your ankle, right quad stretch. Roll your shoulders back and down, scoop. When you scoop the tail, really feel the bottom rib squeeze up into the hip point, or squeeze down into the hip point squeezes up into it. So there's a lot of action in the belly. All right, so we're gonna start to flow again. Release your right foot, step to goddess. We're gonna pivot forward, lunge, and then pivot on the back foot, stretch the front foot, and woo, this is hard, and bow a little bit in like a cat. And then step in and flow. Open the heart, open the back of the heart. If flexing the front foot isn't working for you, it's really not working for me. I'm going to keep it down. So we're just kind of stretching through the whole body in this fluid movement, getting more into the right hamstring. You can maybe send your gaze to the floor. Let's do one more. Inhale up, back heel spins down, goddess. Pivot to the back of the mat. Heel up, lunge, open the chest, and then bow over a straight leg. So the legs do opposite things. One's going straight, one's bending. Spine's doing opposite things as we bow over the front straight leg. Let's go 3 more. I'm just breathing where I need to breathe. You might be breathing with your movement. One more straight left leg. Inhale back, goddess. Bounce it down a little bit lower, widen through the knees. Okay, inhale, stretch the arms and legs straight. And exhale, pivot to Tadasana, top of the mat. Take a moment. Root down through your feet, tone your quads. Let the sacrum tilt a little bit down as the lower belly tones. Lift the arms up, pull them back, drop them down. Couple more moments to feel the benefits of that dynamic movement. The energy flowing freely through your whole body. Down into the earth, up into the universe. Float the eyes open. Step your left foot back for warrior 2 pattern, front heel back arch. A nice long stance to press low into your right lunge. Right knee is widening. Float the arms up. And let's move. Inhale, stretch the right leg straight, arms overhead. Exhale, keep the palms open as you lunge again. 4 more. I'm going to allow my knee to go forward at my ankle as we move. 1 more. Now keep the right knee bent. Inhale, reverse, and you can let your thighs go back, chest go forward. And inhale up. Float, side angle. Right arm comes in, left arm stretches up. 4 more. Inhale back. Exhale, hover forward, side angle. Inhale up and back. Exhale, hover forward. 2 more. And then this time we'll stay forearm to thigh, left arm diagonal overhead. I always like to spin my right arm forward to keep my right shoulder more open. Press your left thigh back, spiral your right sit bone underneath you a bit. Press into your right thigh to roll your chest more open. 2 more breaths. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Couple more breaths. Let the head drop off the body. From your seat lifting to the sky, let your head drop and hang. Upper back active, heart open. When we stretch the back of the body, we stretch our mind through the past. Where are you in your own way? Three more. And then right to the other side. Left foot steps forward, warrior two. Take a moment, get the distance of your feet. Square the hips. Right thigh presses back, left knee presses open. And then 5 rounds. Inhale, stretch tall. Exhale, open palm lunge. Two more. Now reverse 5 times. Thighs can go back, chest forward. Exhale, hover forward, side angle. Inhale, up and back. Exhale, hover forward. 3 more. Last time, up and back. And then forearm to thigh. Spin your wrist forward. Right arm diagonal overhead. Right thigh presses back. Left sit bone carves underneath. Push into yourself to open up your twist. 3 breaths. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, downward dog. Just 3 breaths this time. So another thing that I'm grateful for is a past relationship that was toxic, full of love, but yet toxic. And I'm so grateful for him because he taught me boundaries and what triggers me. So that gave me so many gifts of honoring myself and standing in my truth and how I can create boundaries that are safe for me to be in protected space. So I have gratitude for him. I don't regret any moment of it. Step to the front of the mat. Grab opposite elbows with wide feet. And as you contemplate a challenging event in your life or a person in your life, whether they're still around or not, can you find your own piece of gratitude for it and just sway, bounce, let it open up through the hips. Hips are our relationships, among other things. So find that person, that relationship. Maybe it's with your younger self. Right? But there's always big lessons in the relationships. So also looking, I have more gratitude for him because he was very similar to people that came before him. And so now I know that I won't repeat that kind of relationship, break the cycle. That's another why I have gratitude. Let it roll off the back body. When we let things roll off the back body, we create space to who we want to become. And then when you feel ready, take a moment, stretch the legs straight. Inhale to a flat back and exhale, fold in. So have a seat on a block. Can't really see my clock, so okay. We're gonna do a very simple breath exercise, and then we're gonna do hands down at the wall. And I'll give you another option if you're already like, no, thank you. So comfortable seat, I'm on my shins on a block, I'm squeezing the block with my heels and rolling the pelvis forward. Upright spine, and we'll bring the hands on top of one another, thumbs connecting, open palms to the sky. Take a moment to just feel your energy settle into your seat. The breath maybe slow down a little bit from all of that dynamic movement. And we're just going to do samavriti breathing, which is equal parts. We're just going to do a simple aspect of it. There are many ways to do it, but we're just going to equalize the amount of time we breathe in to the amount of time we breathe out. And that's it. So start with 4 seconds. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Couple more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So let's go 5 seconds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more rounds at your own. You can always go back to 4 seconds. Maybe you want to go 6. Just a few more moments. Samavriti, equal breathing. And then releasing your next exhale, coming back to a normal breath pattern. Notice for a moment what's here. How are you feeling? And then we will come to stand on our knees for swimming camel. So a dynamic camel. I'm just going to send myself sideways so you can see. I'm going to keep the block between my feet, toes pointed to the back of the mat, and squeezing my ankles on the block to keep my thighs hugging in. Don't scoop the tail under. Bring your thighs back and the ribs in. See, the shirt's not the best. So that we are setting up from the pelvis a foundation to open the heart comfortably. So Hug the midline, press into the shins. Bring your hands up to your heart. Lift your arm bones up, squeeze your shoulder blades back, then draw them down, and think bottom corners through the front of the heart with the ribs trying to pull back into them. So corners are coming together and the ribs are trying to meet them through the spine. Real strong action at your solar plexus. Inhale, the heart lifts up, chin into the throat to lift the gaze up, and then start to expand the arms. One's going to go toward the heel, the other to the sky. Pause on your exhale. You don't actually have to touch, but maybe you do. Inhale, heart. Exhale, switch. Keep going now at your own pace. Inhale to the heart. Exhale, open the arms, expanding more. Why are you grateful for the things that you chose today? Why is it challenging to find gratitude sometimes? Keep pushing into your shins, squeezing the block. When have you been too focused on the shining silver lining and bypassed the emotion you didn't want to feel? Back to the heart, have a seat, bow your head down, 3 breaths. Float the eyes open, come up off your block. We're just gonna take a deep chest stretch, tabletop against the wall, not against the wall, like 6 inches to a foot away from the wall. Slide one hand straight up from your shoulder, press into both palms, soften both elbows, hug your shoulder blades in and down, and just lean into the wall. I like to let my head start to move around. Feel that the whole palm is rooting, elbows are soft, deep stretch through this side of the chest. I have my right arm on the wall, so I'm feeling it in my right shoulder and chest. 3 more breaths. Slowly back away from the wall and release. Tabletop, just take a moment, notice right and left. And then swing yourself around, take the other side. About 6 to 12 inches away. Standing arms straight under the shoulder. Arm on the wall is straight up. Soften both elbows as you press through fingertips, base knuckles, middle knuckles. Just leaning in. Let the head start to move around. And so our upper back and the scapula and the ball and socket of the shoulder are the foundation to the neck. We have neck muscles that attach to the mid back, to the skull, deep in the, against the spine, alongside the spine, in the lamina groove of the vertebra, if you want to get technical there. So feel how your upper back, shoulder blades hugging in, helps release the neck. Two more breaths. Slowly pull away. Release your hand under your shoulder. Just pause. At your center, belly ribs in. Okay, so if you want to start with L at the wall. You can stay there if that's where you want to stay. I feel like L at the wall, it's feet up, hip height, on your hands, is much harder than handstand. So you can choose that, or you can just take some hops to the wall, or you can hop up to the wall and just stay there. If you don't want to do any of those, we're gonna come down from that and do some back bends. So maybe bridge if you want to do that instead. Some options are nice, right? Tune into how you're feeling right now. But I thought it would be fun to build this strength. So with L at the wall, I'll show you from my side wall here. Feel like you can come to tabletop, heels up on the wall, hands a little bit forward of the shoulders, not too far. And then lift to down dog at the wall. Walk your feet up the wall and feel like your feet are at hip height. So I nailed that. Nice. Your feet want to be higher because it's hard to hold your feet, but I'm pushing my feet into the wall, pushing my hands into the floor. I'm lifting my armpits, using my upper traps, and pulling the ribs and thighs back. Then you can lift one leg. And then the other. I like to point my toes in handstand. Right, so that's L at the wall. You can walk into it, belly at the wall, which is super scary. I'm not going to go too far in because I really get afraid here. Because it's hard to get out. So you can work that if you want. You can take a break. I need a break. Just going to kind of give myself a moment. And then you can face the wall. Bring your hands, 6 inches or a foot away, depending on how your lower back is. And then give yourself a little setup here. You can lift the arms, lift the armpits, melt the heart, pull the shoulder blades down, step in, lift one leg, and then real strong arms, fingertips grip. Push up, kick out. And then I like to keep one foot on the wall, squeezing the knees together so that I'm too close to the wall. I can find my float maybe, pointing the toes, hugging the belly, legs are toned. Taking some time with it. It's hard to do and talk. So a little bit more time if you want. You can turn that notification off. It's really freaking frustrating. Okay. So where you want to be, a little bit more time. Inversions help us see new perspectives, see our strength, find our weakness. I don't like to look between my thumbs. It's too much on my neck, so I look a little bit behind my hands. Whew. All right, that last one was nothing really special, but it felt really special in like the 3 solid seconds I found balance. So I'm going to leave it there. Great. Call that a big win. Helps us feel powerful. Have a seat. Take a moment to just pull it in. So we're going to take blocks to the wall and work on a wheel pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana. And I haven't done this in many months, so I'm not sure if I can actually even do it because of having to hold my dog's hind end up. Towards the end of her life, it really messed up my shoulder. So I'm going to try. I hope you'll try with me, but you can always do bridge again. But it's nice on the wall with blocks because with shoulder tension and rounding, that lift helps the shoulder immobility or limitation. So I'm just gonna rest my blocks up against, I should really bring my mat so the blocks don't slide. So you have the stickiness of your mat. And then if you have this molding, see if your block can rest right on the molding, angled with enough room for your head to be in between and the width of your blocks being a little bit wider than shoulders. That's also more comfortable. So when you get them there, lay on your back, bring your head close to the wall, set your feet hip width, right? Arch your lower back, wiggle your shoulder blades down the back, and then bring your palms to the block with, I like my fingers wrapped around the edge. So you can find what works for you. They feel a little too far away from each other. I bring them in a bit closer. Right, we're gonna come up, hips up, ribs up, head to the ground. Right, on your inhale, lift, head to the ground. Now, unplug your arm bone and plug it in. Right, feel that action of plugging in. From there, roll more forward, pushing into your feet, and then push off. Ooh, that feels pretty good in my shoulder today. Right, my arms are bent. That's just my expression. Really keeping my belly toned. Pressing the bottom corners of my shoulder blades through the front of the heart. You can always lift to your toes for more lower back comfort. And then we're going to press toward the wall 5 times. And then slowly tuck the chin, shoulders come down, ribs come down, sit bones come down, lower back stays arched. Receive the mat. Take a moment. Ooh. Sighing out breath is a really nice release of stress. Helps you switch into that parasympathetic response of the nervous system. So sigh it out. Widen the feet, windshield wiper. Think of that 90-90 we did from goddess pose. Get into it here. Feel the rhythm of your breath start to slow down. So back bends really amplify our energy. They're very energizing. It's really hard for me to do them with rounded shoulders and limitations from past heartbreak, right? But they are so beneficial in raising vibration, finding compassion, the love, and the gratitude. I have gratitude for those blocks at the wall, for having the endurance to keep trying when I know things are hard. Let the feet come to the mat wide, knees knock in. I like to angle my toes in, 3 breaths. You can bring your hands again onto the front body just to connect to your center a bit deeper. And then bring your knees in one at a time. Give them a squeeze. Feel a nice release through the lower back. Grab the backs of your thighs. Let your feet pull you up to sit. We're going to do one nice little hip thing. And then we're going to end at the wall. So I'm just going to move my mat a little bit. Have a seat and bring your, I don't know if it's opposite me. I don't know if I should marry you or not. I'm not going to, just to make it easy for me. So this is my left leg, sitting on my left hip, flex the left foot, and bring your knee into a 90-degree angle. And then let's do that with the right leg. My right knee and my foot are in the same line, parallel to my short edge, both feet are flexed. Right, I'm gonna bring my hands around to the left, lift my right hip, keep the legs active, belly ribs in, shoulder blades back, And just bow over the left. Inhale, come up. We're going to lift the knees, pivot, and then realign 90-90. I'm going to widen my feet a little bit so feet and ankles are in line with each other. And then twist to the right. I'm too close to my wall and bow. Inhale, come on up. And exhale to the other side. I'm just going to switch myself a little bit. And then your hands can be on the floor, or maybe they go behind you as you bow. Inhale, come on up. Switch sides. Exhale, hands can go back as you bow. Right, nice and slowly with yourself. Legs try to stay at 90 and 90. Internal rotation, external rotation. And then the hinge if it works for you. Right, think of all those standing deep poses we did. That fire we burned up in the hips. Feel this is helping to stretch now. Back and forth, couple more rounds. I'm moving all over the place. I'm not going to worry about it. It still feels good. All right. Coming out of that, let the legs just stretch straight. Shake it out a little bit. I actually want to give a little bit of soft fist pounding around my sacrum, through the glutes. Perfect timing. And we're going to set up for 2 versions of legs up the wall. So I'm just going to put my mat up there again. If you have a foamy block, that might be really nice under the hips. I have my 2-stack blanket right here. My bolster's right there too. Bolster, stack blanket, or blocks up against the wall. And then give like an inch away from the wall. I don't like the fringe showing out. Okay, smooth out your stack. Sit up on it. Use your belly to support your spine and your arms to lengthen the legs up. And then kind of pivot the sacrum flat on your props, but your tail reaching down towards the floor in between your props and the wall. So that's why we left a little bit of space. So we anterior tilt the pelvis. Wiggle the shoulder blades underneath you. Arms drop open. Let the legs drop open. And then I like to kind of move my ankles around to help get to my end point through the inner thighs. I'm just noticing how my legs are different. I'm not going to say this one that's higher is worse off. It's just different than this one. My sensation is the same. Really training myself and helping to give you guys the same opportunity to stop labeling things good and bad. They just are what they are. They're different in ways that we can describe without the polarization of good and bad. And that will transfer off the mat in beautiful ways of accepting people that are different from us, accepting that people think differently than us. And as long as they're not hurting us directly, we can allow that difference. Feel a widening of the legs, the deepening of your breath, and again, a opportunity to contemplate some of the things that we chose for being grateful for today, with the added question of why. Really breathe into it. Lean into it. If you feel your legs sensation got less intense and you want more, you can point your toes and then flex to like wiggle your heels a little bit lower and then rest. If you're loving the straddle, more than welcome to stay there. If you prefer to bring the legs straight, let's do it slowly by first taking the hands inside the knees and pulling the knees into a bend. Bring your feet to the wall. Just let things kind of soften through the inner thigh. And then let the legs go straight up. Flex your feet first. Even take the toes in to inward spiral the thighs, letting the thighs root back. And then let the legs just relax. Again, there's a tilt of the pelvis, sacrum flat on the prop, and the tail dropping over the prop toward the floor. Just getting heavier and heavier in your shape. Feeling the ground support you. Life force filling all of your channels of energy, feeding and nourishing every cell. All the natural processes within your body, expanding into all of the natural processes of living on this planet. Life is a struggle. There's no doubt in that. Can we find gratitude for every single one of those times that we've fallen and picked ourselves back up? It had a purpose. Even our grief, like my example with my doggy, Josie girl, she taught me how to live fully. She had a nasty, traumatic experience in the beginning of her life, as did I. She taught me that with love, we can find beauty and grace and joy together. And I'll always be grateful for her. Even when I cry, I smile. Because it's not bad to feel grief. It's not bad to be in pain. It has purpose. Feel your own breath bring you into the body. If legs are still at a straddle, let your hands bend your knees. If your legs are straight like mine, bring your feet to the wall. Slide them down. Sway in and out, back and forth, side to side. And then we'll roll over to one side and just let the body rest. See if you can slide your hips to the ground and an arm under your head. Take a moment. Slowly pressing the floor away, letting your head rise last. Of course, I went over a little bit. No shock. I'm going to sit up on my props. Wipe the tears away from my eyes. Find comfort in your seat. Roll the hips forward, sitting upright. Draw the hands to prayer. Connect to your heart. The tears I shed for missing Josie is that the love I have for her is misplaced. It has nowhere to go. But that is untrue because I can bring it to myself. And I could bring it to another cat or my daughter. And I can still send it to her. So I am grateful to miss her because she shared true love and this exuberant joy for life, having a second chance coming to live with me. Every day we have a chance to choose how we're going to make our day, how we're going to get the best and the most of our day. And to her, I'm forever grateful. The light in me sees, reflects, and honors the light in you. To you, I bow. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here with me, whether you were live or in the replay. I have so much gratitude for you.